here. So we've got 24 minutes of content, you and me.
24.
Just 24. So it's a mini episode, but I wanted to talk to you some more. And normally we would have just spent this 24 minutes just talking. And this is the preemptive recording of a conversation. And if it goes really well, like I think it will, it'll be aired. But if it doesn't, it'll just die on the vine. No big deal.
I have massive anxiety right now because I don't like surprises and I don't know what this
Surprise! So then just continue talking to me. So guess what I'm excited for this week?
What?
I get my Roush, my 250.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You're the
Very
nice pseudo
excited.
redneck friend.
Yeah, I'm going to get a big diesel truck. Makes me feel like a real man. Excited about that.
That is pretty. I'm glad. Now, aren't you glad that I told you to go Roush version as opposed to just basic?
Yeah.
Be a basic bitch.
You're like my consigliere. You know what the consigliere is? Remember The Godfather?
I can't even pronounce that, so much less.
It doesn't matter. Consigliere, you would call it consigliere. It's the family attorney, like in The Godfather. He was he was an Irish guy. I forgot his name. If you know his name, comment in the video below. But he was the guy who just ran decisions by that. So you're my truck and you're my redneck consigliere, but I have like my finance consigliere, which is John and Randy. But still, you're consigliere of sorts. It's important. It's an important role.
I'll take it, I guess.
And you were just lamenting on a side-by-side that you might be losing. So, the pain is real.
The pain is real. Craig, where's this going?
Where's this going? This is just you and me talking about what we're talking about.
Well, I will have you know that the Marxist raccoon has been caught.
Oh, really?
Yep. He has been trapped.
Who trapped him?
Some service.
Did you actually see it?
No.
Raccoons are gnarly, bro, by the way.
Which I don't trust. I don't trust. I kind of like, hey, you need to see the dead body if you know, like someone. I was watching a show on crypto called, what's the Crypto King is Trust Nobody is what it's called. It's on Netflix right now. And there was a guy from Quadriga who basically faked his death. And he was the only one with $191 million worth of Bitcoin. So people are like, chatting online, like, has anyone seen the body? Like, no one's seen the body. Was it open casket? No.
Well, the whole premise behind Bitcoin is built in obscurity. I mean, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Well, he's just the code creator.
But
anyway,
how do you know?
To the raccoon.
That could be anybody.
But the raccoon, I didn't get a picture of him. Now what they do is they just take him like 30 miles.
They relocate him. That's what they do these days. Yeah. So it's like when your grandparents get old and they get relocated to Boca. Except they flung that little critter out in the wilderness somewhere.
The Boca Sunny Shores retirement home.
Exactly. Del Boca Vista, like Seinfeld's parents.
Anyway,
so that's good, man. That's awesome. Because we were talking, the whole genesis of that is everything you own owns a piece of you. And by the way, my buddy John with his yacht, that's gotten more complex. So like because of COVID, it stayed in a port longer than it should because there was a restriction to travel. So now it owes taxes. And I've never heard this, but the boat got arrested. The actual boat was arrested.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just like
poor gal. I guess more boats are gals. So
well, I'm just saying it's poor him because he has to deal with all this stuff, which is funny because you figure like if your life is that great that you actually have a boat that you're buying in Europe, like you have no problems. But that's not easy. So he's like on the phone with lawyers.
Isn't there a rap song about this? More money.
Yeah, more money, more problems, or I'm on a boat, or one of those things. I don't know. The point is that everything you owns a piece of you.
I'm about to go on a yacht for someone's birthday.
Whose birthday? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did I tell you today's
in the Exumas?
You love the Exumas.
I love the Exumas.
That's my backyard, bro.
It's like even the astronauts have reported it's the prettiest place on Earth. Reported.
Yeah, when you spin the globe, if you have a globe and you look for the turquoise dot, that's the Exumas in the globe. It's really
beautiful.
Special.
Like, and I actually talked to.
Are you in the Exumas right now with your background?
No. I'm at my Turk's house.
Is it located in the metaverse on Zoom.com?
Yeah, no. It's my metaverse.
Then touch behind you and wiggle that green screen for me, and just tell me if it doesn't move. Oh no, it really,
Craig.
Oh wow, it is your house. Okay, walk over there. Get up and walk over. No. Go walk into the ocean.
Anyway, so I'm going there. I love it because it literally is like. Oops, sorry. It's like Fiji.
Yeah. No, it is beautiful. I've not been to Fiji, but I love the Bahamas. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, I had a friend recently, pretty interesting story. They got trapped in the Maldives.
Okay.
They went there for their honeymoon, and you always hear about the Maldives being like the most beautiful place on earth. But
Yeah, I've
like
heard
this
that.
story ensued. He's marrying like this. He's big into Bitcoin, and he's marrying like a supermodel gal,
Okay,
and they
good.
were over there. So she has a big social media presence, and basically they got when I say they got trapped over there, she tested positive for COVID and couldn't leave after their 2 month honeymoon or pre-honeymoon or whatever. So what was supposed to be paradise turned into like this horrible, horrible experience for both of them.
Yeah.
They couldn't feel
Too
like
much of anything is
and that's
is
what I
horrible.
was like, isn't it interesting that like you couldn't wait to get over there, and then you couldn't wait, like you were in tears crying because you were able to come home.
Right.
Like,
I love chocolate cake. I just don't want to eat 5 chocolate
don't
cakes
eat
right
it
now.
every day.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
so anyway, so he
Is
was
the
reporting,
Maldives
he's
the
like,
place,
look,
Peter? Is that where like you have those like little
those huts.
condos and they're out
Hmm.
in the ocean? You
Yep,
walk over
yep,
to them. Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
And he said it's never like that. It's always windy and it was choppy and you couldn't see the water. He's like, Exuma smokes the Maldives. And I was like,
Yeah, that's what I tell my. Yeah, so my wife is always like wanting to go out to the South Pacific or Asia. And I'm like, listen, we have our Bahamas in our backyard. It's so beautiful. I love the Bahamas.
it is true. So I know you wanted to do a rants and rambles, but there's got to be some core of what you're wanting to talk about other than just me and you spitballing today, because people are going to start getting pissed that we're wasting their time, Craig.
Well, are you happy, Peter? I'm going to go right for the jugular.
Am I happy?
Have you been happy lately, my friend?
Like as a human?
Yes, as a human. How's my friend doing? I want to check in with Peter. This is a normal. This is a normal line of conversation I'd hit you with.
Yeah,
What are you
very
excited
happy.
about?
I
What are
would
you
give a
excited
9 out of
about?
10. I'm excited.
Besides the vacation.
Yeah, vacations are exciting, but they're not like, I get excited to come back and like do shit, like
Yeah.
work shit, look at land shit and whatever. So when I had to go back up, I've been looking at land up in North Georgia because I feel like that's the next
Land
move.
for what use? Sorry.
Yeah. Building another practice.
Okay.
Some capacity.
Similar to like your
So-
Blue Ridge practice?
Yeah, very close to that area.
Okay.
It's in a town probably 40 miles south of the Blue Ridge one. So it's in a town called, I'm not going to say it. Anyway, it's a smaller town with
Okay.
emerging. The growth is going on so big right now, Craig. They had to actually put a moratorium on the growth in that town.
Really?
Because and I found out today that it's not because like so much is happening. It's the sewer system. The sewers are just not capable.
They can't handle that much shit, huh?
Yeah, so they had to kind of shut it down. So anyway, I'm looking at a big.
That's a lot of shit going on.
A
Yeah.
lot of shit going on up there. Looking at a big parcel of land. Actually, it's a 12-acre commercial land size land.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting
But-
somewhere.
But I can't eat that all myself. So I've got
Okay.
two buddies of mine who have.
No, you have a
business.
third buddy. Who are these two buddies? I mean, hey,
no,
pay
you're-
attention, people. This is how you involve yourself in business.
No,
101.
and you know what? Look, you want raw land. Raw land is
No, I want to
horrible
hitch my
investment.
wagon onto what you're doing. What are you
No
guys up to?
chance.
What do you mean no chance? Who are these two buddies?
Well, they're just two buddies.
I don't have to name by name, but what's their
car
unique strengths?
dealership. One is a car dealership.
Okay, that's a
the
good
other is an
strategic partner.
An investor, right?
Oh no, let's kick the investor out. No, you, me, and the car guy. Come on.
Craig, but there's no. This is what I always tell people: land is hard. Land is hard to secure, and I'm actually.
You're
struggling
talking.
with it.
I was the former chairman of the planning and zoning department at Delray Beach. I understand LDR's land development regulations.
No, I know you
impact.
understand. I'm not saying that you don't understand that. I'm looking at it from an investment, and especially given the pod we just talked about, which is the inverted yield curve and what's happening. I'm like, if this happens, land is the worst place to be in because there's no yield.
Well, you're not
So here's-
talking about land. You're talking about development.
Okay, development, but it could be stagnated for a while. And land is banks do not like lending on land.
Of course.
Because the recourse for collateralization is tough. Meaning, what are they going to do with raw land? So typically, to buy land, you have to have at least, Greg, 50% loan to value.
Oh yeah, at least. Yeah. I mean, look at my shopping center I did up in Stewart. They gave me 60% LTV.
Yeah, and that
60%
was
loan to value.
crazy because that's an income producing real estate.
Yeah, it was
And
not
so-
making money though. It's either making money or losing money, and that property was losing money. So if it's losing a little or losing a lot, it's still not income producing. It's doing okay now. We stabilized it, but that's the deal. So you're gonna maybe do 12 acres. That'd be awesome, man. So a dental practice,
Yeah, because
so
look,
probably like
the
3 to 5
practice
thousand.
kind of like we talk about in the mastermind. I say, look, your practice inside of a why do real estate owners like yourself, Craig, would love to get a dentist in there? Why?
Oh yeah.
Because they're long term, they're stable, and they're not going to cause any problems.
Yep.
Dentists, by having a dentist in the area, a nice dental practice, it increases the value of the property itself and then the value alone around it. No different than like when a Publix goes into a shopping center.
Yeah.
It increases the value of the shopping center because it's better tenants that go there. So
funny thing, I've told you this about an Apple store. An Apple store actually increases the overall same store sales of the entire shopping mall that the Apple store goes in. So when Apple,
100%,
can you believe that though?
I 100% believe that. The foot traffic, they probably, and because of that, they get to flex. They probably get that space it would hurt other tenants' feelings, I'm sure, if they knew.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, it hurts your feelings if you knew what your local DSO paid for Invisalign or any of those other supplies too. It really hurts your feelings.
It does hurt my feelings.
It does, but that's business. That's how it goes.
So anyway, look, it's a
so
bigger
I can't
play.
be an investor in that, is what you're saying.
Well, look, who knows? It's early. I'm just saying, like, at first I was, look, it's just come across my plate. And so I think that
just out of curiosity, how much does land in this location go for? Because I know
this is
like per acre.
Yeah, this
Can
is
I guess?
down.
Let me guess. Is it on Main and Main?
No, but it's on. Okay, so there's a 25,000 cars per day on one street.
Okay.
And 15,000 cars. It's on a corner. So
okay, a hard corner of those two streets.
The hard corner of those two streets. So
okay, so this
exposure on both, and so there's probably roughly 40,000 combined eyeballs a day that are.
Okay, can I tell you what it goes for?
Yes,
3.62 million. The whole thing.
You are off by a factor of. You're almost double.
I am double.
You are double.
Holy hell, that's awesome. So 3.62 million divided by 12 put me at $300,000 an acre.
$65,000 an acre. This land.
Say that one more time.
It's about $165,000.
That is so freaking cheap compared to where I am.
But Craig, this used to be the sticks.
Oh, I know. Georgia. So did this. This used to be the sticks. My dad, when he built the practice here, said he could play like stickball in the middle of Atlantic Avenue during the day here.
It's crazy how COVID was the great initiator of outward expansion, right? It proved the thesis of people didn't have to work so far, or didn't have to live so close, I should say.
Of course.
So there's ever since then, it's been the expansion, and so that area of Georgia is beautiful. It's good people.
That just seems so incredibly cheap. Wow.
And that's probably the epicenter of almost like the town. Right?
Do you know what land is here, by the way, right by me?
Astronomical. You're in Florida.
Just take a guess. The property directly to the side of my building is for sale. How much is it per acre?
I've seen that property, and see you're on. Atlantic.
It's been on the list. It's been in the market for 900 days.
I bet you are at zone commercial, correct?
Zone commercial, yeah.
I bet it's 2.5 million an acre.
No, you're off by a factor of double too. So I am doubling you, and you're doubling me. So we're just exactly the same. It's
well, I didn't want you to double me without me doubling you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll show you.
I'll double yours.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Good for you, though. That'd be a great project to take down.
It's still in the diligence phase, and who knows if this can I can even put it together. And like I said, I'm having multiple partners because really, for a dental practice, you need. I mean, look, how big is your piece of dirt?
2 acres.
2 acres.
But that's oversized. You don't do that. What's your Johns Creek? How many acres is your Johns Creek?
1 acre with basically a half acre buildable footprint because of all the setbacks that I had.
Yeah.
But I didn't like that. I think ideally, look, all things being equal, 2 acres is great. You can build giant parking like yours. You can expand like look, Craig, if you had you would not be able to you're expanding your practice right now, and you would not be able to have done that if you had been as
much lot coverage. Yeah.
I couldn't build 1 foot out extra of the buildings that I've built because the envelope is just too hard to build from.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not expanding that much though. I'm only doing 5 ops.
Only 5 ops.
Yeah, I mean, Well, actually, if I hadn't listened to
20. How many ops do you have total? 18.
18. So it'll be 5 more. So it'll be 23.
It's a 30% increase. in what you're doing.
Oh, I like that. That sounds sizable when you say it that way.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, no big deal. 5 ops. But guess what? That is a big deal.
No, because you told me to do 8 or 10. You
were
were
because look, you are going to be in a scenario probably down the road. You're like, I wish I had done 10. I wish I had done 8. When do you ever hear Dennis saying like, I built way too many ops?
Yeah.
Well, there have been times when you've heard people say that they've gone too big. But in general,
said that the first year or two I was in here.
Titrate into their expansion. Like, I'll build 1 op. I'll plumb for 5, and then I'll build them one by one by one.
The problem with that idea, Peter, is you never get to that inflection point where you're like, I need it. But if you meet an amazing hygienist, it's worth it to build that op out and put her or him in that op, and they'll build that business.
I'm a fan of just building it. If you got the cash flow and you can afford to build it, and you don't have to build with like, the highest, you don't have to build with $1 million chairs, $1 million cabinetry.
Right.
But they are great. Rooms, when you're not ready to use them, are great at overflow rooms. They are great at consultation rooms. They are great at photography and x-rays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I am a fan of building, of underutilizing my operatories, because I don't like to get in that phase of, oh my gosh, we need operatories. I like to build. That's just been my thing.
Yeah, I'm at that stage now where we need operatories.
Because then you get into like a panic scenario, right?
Yeah, of course.
Where you're almost like, oh my gosh, we have to build. So
yeah, and then you can never capitalize on it because by the time you get your building done, the need may have passed. You got to be ready for it. You do have to be ready for it if that's what you're interested in doing. Peter and I get excited, and full disclosure, we get excited about building things and doing things, and but that's
we're
just what
creators,
makes us,
right?
Yeah,
and like that's been evident by like even the stuff we've done with Dwight and Culture Index. Like it's just who we are. That we like to create and have ideas and implement, and then move on and go to the next. We're not very good follow through, but excellent in ideation.
Yes, that's
and
true.
Vision, right? And then like getting our team excited about it, and then handing off, being like, okay, cool. So everyone understands. Awesome. I'm on to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that like you guys handle this. It's just we get a little bit frenetic with the excitement we have with the next projects.
Yeah, it's funny. Peter and I will talk about things and be like, hey, man, this is great. Are you writing this down? No, I thought you were. So none of us write anything down. We definitely need
So now we've just defaulted to, if we have a conversation, just hit record just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this one, which has, we're going to have to call this Rants and Rambles.
No, don't, because that was so good. This one's going to be called, Pete and Craig 26 minutes. By the way, 26 minutes is up in like 5 more minutes. What else is on your mind?
Time flies when you're.
What else is in your mind, Peter? You got the vacation. You got that crazy ass truck that's coming, like got 17 axles. So that you're ready for the zombie apocalypse. What else going down?
That's it, buddy.
You know, it's my 13-year anniversary today, bro.
What?
With Saisha? 13-year anniversary today.
Oh, I got mine. Really? I got mine coming up this summer. 13 years too. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So nothing else I'm just getting ready for summer. Doing a bunch of coaching. Baseball's going well. Things like that. But just enjoying life.
Man.
And like
if you can't be happy where you're at, you can never be happy. You know that, Pete?
That's the damn truth.
So if those of you are thinking like, yeah, you gotta, when I have this or when I get that or when this happens, I'll be happy. You got to cancel that thought. If you can't be happy today,
what do you call that? The hedonic treadmill?
I don't know what that's called. I think the hedonic treadmill is more like more money, more happiness,
more, and you run faster and faster and faster and faster.
Right.
And faster.
And I know a lot of really rich people, and Pete, you do too, and they're not happy. So, the most important thing is you got to figure out a way to be happy today. And if you can be happy today, you can be happy.
I'll tell you what, inventory really helps. When I say inventory, I mean like sitting in because I am not like, I think your default, Craig, is like gratitude and, cool things like that. I think you're more like in touch with your mind and your body, and like other people.
Well, definitely
like
not
myself,
my body, but my mind.
Okay. Well, you're very in touch with your feelings. Let's just say.
Yeah. I'm in my feelings.
And I am not. So like, I think the inventory thing is really nice to do like on a regular basis. Be like, look at all the good, because we can fall into this trap of the woe is me very quickly. The woe is me. I shouldn't have to do all this shit today. Yep. If you take inventory of like, look at all this stuff I get to do, right? That is one thing I talked about maybe many podcasts ago that you kind of instilled in me is like, dude, you get to do this stuff. Not you have to do it. You get to do it.
Yeah.
And getting to is really cool, but also just taking an inventory of the blessings you have, and not to get too kumbaya, because everyone knows I will not do that.
Yeah.
But I think
we'll leave that for Jenny and I.
I think that, yeah, you and Jenny and you and Sage and
Yeah.
Sage
Robin's
Robbins,
Tony's wife. Yeah. We
you
can
know,
get all
you
there.
guys, I'll preserve I'll stay in my own lane, if you
Stay in
will.
your lane.
But
Bitcoin
yeah, Bitcoin and biohacks
and
and
raccoons.
trucks and raccoons and surfing and stuff like that. The kiteboarding.
Kiteboarding raccoons and Bitcoin. That's all you are. You're only good for that. And macroeconomics too, that inverse yield curve.
That
That's
was
your
pretty
jam.
interesting, huh?
No, it's awesome. But I do believe, listen, I start my kids' day off every day with this. I tell my kids, like, make it a great day. And whatever you're lacking in your life, give it first. So for those that are lacking something, if you feel like you're alone or not connected, reach out to 4 or 5 people. Just hit them up. It's a great hack. It works great.
Wait,
And
tell me again. What is
so,
that?
like, whatever you want to get in life, you have to give it away first. So if you're feeling alone, disconnected, underappreciated, give that very emotion, give the appreciation. Just hit up 5 friends, like, hey, just appreciate you. Haven't spoken in a while. And just take an inventory of my life. And thanks for helping me out with the blah, blah, blah. Just appreciate you being my friend. Just give it all away. Give it all away. You have the power to make to make the rest of the day happy.
So whatever you are wanting, whatever emotion or thing you're wanting to receive,
you give it.
Be the producer of it first.
Right. You give it
in order to get reciprocal. I like that.
Yeah, because you don't get less by giving. Like, giving
that's
love
a
and
good.
affection.
I like that, Craig, because I am a man of action, and I think anytime sometimes
try
you
it
give
today,
me stuff,
Pete.
and I'm like, give me
Pete, just try it today. Just like hit up 3 people. Just hit up 3 people. It's so good. Works so cool. Good. And I was talking about Eric and I were talking about something today. Like, we're being rewarded because of social media for external happiness or displays of external happiness, but there's no reward for real fulfillment. So you ever see, and for those of you who are not watching the video, I'm sorry, but like, you ever see like a person doing a selfie and they put the phone up and they do like one of these? They snap it and it goes away immediately. Their smile goes away the minute, and they start typing. They just literally fake the smile. And then I was at a restaurant last night and I saw some waitress like went to some table and the person was being very funny with them, or I don't know, maybe gave her a compliment. I saw her giggle with the table. She turned around with the platter of dishes and walked past the table and walked out of the kitchen smiling. Her smile lasted for moments afterwards. It was real. It was a real smile. And I think that there's just a public recognition for the public, that's the displays of happiness. You put your best life on Instagram and all that stuff, and then there's no real reward for internal fulfillment. So I think there's a crisis point with that.
The differentiation between a fake smile and an authentic smile?
Your eyes.
The squintiness of your eyes. People can tell. And humans, like, it's like an innate DNA thing that we have, like a bullshit filter. We don't know it, but it's like it's a human built-in feature.
Yep.
And you can tell, even though you don't know that that's what you just saw. But if you don't see someone's eyes crinkling in the corners, and you just see them kind of like, that's awesome. It's bullshit. And so
it is. That's
pretty good, especially it's us being that's why I'm really excited about Chris Ramsey coming to our summit, because I'm a huge
body language expert, student
of body language. Because I really believe that 80% of things that we communicate are nonverbal. And I think if you can curate that skill as a dentist, it gives you a superpower when it comes to enrolling treatment or talking to patients or making them feel comfortable. I've seen it take dentists from good to great.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, listen, there's even another hack to that too. It's just like really believe in what you're doing. Always speak from your heart, believe in what you're doing.
Okay, Craig.
No, but it's true. Like, if you really
believe in all the shit you're doing.
Obviously believe in it. But I mean, I've had to tell dentists before, like, hey, you got to remember that when these people show up into your chair, they're actually lucky because you have the talent and the skills and you have the ethics to do this person right. Many of our colleagues, unfortunately, in dentistry, it's unfortunate. Some of them just are good at talking and they don't do the right thing for people, or so it's really important to believe in what you're doing and do something that you actually.
There's a book that I have. We started a book club in my office, and I was really, really excited to see the matriculation of people who signed up. It was just obligatory. It was not obligatory, right? I mean, you could sign up, and we had like half of our office sign up. And I said, look, if you guys do a book club, like, I will buy the books, right?
Yeah, we do that.
You do that, yeah. And maybe I stole that from you. like
maybe
all of my great ideas, right?
Well, that's all good.
But the book that I wanted them to start was a book called Cues, and it was an Amazon. So I listened to this lady, and she was kind of in communication, like we're talking about, like Chris Ramsey talks about, and she was on the Lewis Howes podcast. You know Lewis Howes?
Yeah,
it was very good. It was a 2-hour thing, and I said, man, this lady nailed it, and I was like, it was so applicable for dentistry, and so I was like, gosh, if my team could just learn this. And honestly, and I think that was kind of probably the genesis of me and you talking. I was like, dude, we got to get Chris in, because Chris wraps it all to dentistry. You know, when women get uncomfortable, they do this in your dental chair. When men get uncomfortable, they do this. When people say this, it's a warning sign. Things like that. And like, I know I always default to this, you know, Craig, you probably get sick of me, but I just think it's one of those things. Like, I think this and occlusion are like the two most powerful things that a dentist should know.
Yeah, of course. Hey, listen, we've expired our 26 minutes, so I got to close on you, Peter.
Oh,
I'm the verbose one, but we did make a statement that it could be 26 minutes. But now I got everything I need. I know my friend's happy. We got a hack to call people, which you're going to do today. And we're excited about. I wish I could attend Chris Ramsey's body language course. I think it's a conflict. I think I have a track at the same exact time.
Oh, that's right. You won't be able to see him this year.
No.
Yeah. So we're doing the summit a little bit different, in case people don't know, is that we, you know, because of the size and growth, we actually are creating independent. So it's not everyone is in previous years. Let me start again.
Well, we could fit all the content on one stage in one day.
The one stage. Right. But because of this trifurcation of needs, if you will, of team versus hygienist versus doctors, we now are creating different tracks so that to encourage the team to come and, you know, and create that leverage for you of bringing your team, which makes everything row much, much easier. So you're right. You are running an independent track. That same time Chris is on the main stage, which is a shame, but I will take copious notes and continue to just be a fan of body language.
It's going to be exciting. So register. If you haven't registered already, do so. But we do have to wrap, Peter. 26 minutes. We're way late. Right. We're way late. Who knows? This may not. Listen, we don't know if this is going to get voted onto the podcast, because Peter may, in Peter's style, may just say that sucked. So do me a favor. If this does get to if this does make it the cutting room floor and it winds up getting aired, if you found this podcast valuable, give us a thumbs up, a like on the comments below.
Speaking of podcasts, do I have 2 more seconds?
3 seconds, go.
3 seconds. So one podcast that does this fairly a lot is a pod called that I really like right now, is called My First Million, and it's by Sean Puri and Sam Parr. So it's a really good one. And they kind of
you sent me them.
They're pretty good, right? I like it. I just a lot. But my favorite one right now is the All In podcast. And that's where I get a lot of some like
which is the one you sent me with Durdek.
That was actually that was theirs. Durdek was was on there.
Got it.
But they do this a lot. They rant and ramble. But the All In podcast, if you don't listen to that, you know, and I think dentists need something outside of dentistry to listen to. All In's really good because it's very genius people, genius guys like Chamath Palihapitiya and what's his name, Calacanis. Anyway, and so a bunch of smart people. So everyone, the All In podcast is a good one. So,
by the way, speaking of podcasts and speaking of relevancy to the last podcast, I know 26 minutes is now 30 minutes, but Peter Maluk just did a podcast, and it says recession concerns, inflationary impacts, and the role of bonds. So I'm forwarding that to you.
Maybe I'm sure it has the inverted yield curve on there, buddy.
I'm sure it does. It does.
All right, let's shut her down. Thanks.
Shut her down. Hopefully this makes it, Peter. I'm gonna beg you, not beg you. That's strong. I don't want to burn my asks.
Save your asks.
Yeah, save your ass. Chris Tuff, new book. But I think this one should make it. If you agree with me, if you got any piece of
how would they agree with you if it never sees the light of day? How would they?
Well, if it does pass the cutting room floor, I've asked people to comment. It was valuable, and I'll screenshot each one and send it to you.
And have you asked everyone to smash the like button?
No, I just don't. But you just did.
You just everybody did. Over and out.
See you guys. Thanks.